A gorgeous morning. Today we set off for the Eagle and the Gold Dollar. The illustrious, the hard to find, the even harder to get to mines of the San Gabriels. And it's a gorgeous morning. So we've broken out into this sort of lovely little meadow. It's all these little low-growing plants. No poison oak in sight, thank God. But yeah, it's just real pretty. Now, this is the kind of hiking I like to see. Lots of nice logs to sort of balance on. Nice. So Nick went up a little further, and it turns out this is the old cabin site. This is one of the structures, although a little worse for wear. This beam that you see going up there, that's the ridge beam. You can see a couple nails sticking out of it. And all these boards coming off of it would have been, basically sheathing for the roof. Not a whole lot left of it, or inside of it. You can kind of see under there. So hopefully there's a little bit more as we continue farther up, and then eventually towards the mine. So you could hear the stream below, and we saw that little remnants of a cabin. But coming up here, check out all of this. There appears to have been multiple cabins here. Stoves, bits of metal, all sorts of interesting things. Check out this spoon. It's a good sized spoon. I like the, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. I like the Art Deco sort of pattern on it. If you can kind of see that. There we go, now you can see it. Nice looking spoon. There's an old wood or coal burning stove here, which is really neat. You got coal or wood. There would have been a lever here to swap between it, which would essentially just raise or lower the grate. Duplex draft. So this is your updraft for the for the burning here, and then once it burns, it goes up and over and then out the flue. Can't quite make it out. Looks like M something and CH, maybe Monarch, or I don't know. This would have been, I think, wood storage. Maybe, I think, a 324 or 222, double 24. Lots of spiders in there. Handle's broken. There's a couple of the burner plates sitting over here. These would have been up on the top. Just little bits and pieces everywhere. It's all scattered about. I was going to try going inside this little cabin here. There's a little ways in. And it's spider central, so let's clear this sucker out. See what we got in here. She's in a sorry state, unfortunately. See, they would have had multiple potbelly stoves here. Here's the range off of one. You can see the bottom of the stove back there. Got a box there, or maybe a cupboard, pantry. What else is over here? Ooh, we got... Well, this looks like an old generator. Yeah, it's an old generator. Somebody shot it. You could see the bullets in there. See them there? Yeah, that's a shame. So, I don't know if that was a motor or a generator. Maybe a motor. What else? We got a giant container here. Looks like an oil container or a gas container, an old gas can. Likely off of a vehicle. Come back over here, another oil container. There's a piece of enamel pot. There's another range here. Let's see if I can get to it. Off of another potbelly wood-burning stove. Get in a little further here. I see more pots, oil containers, pieces of wood, glass bottles. I mean, all the things that you'd have in a cabin if you were living up here way back in the day. There's something sticking out over there. It looks like a valve. So maybe they had water as well. Let's see. Another piece of metal here. What is that? I don't know. Some piece of the stove, I guess. It's kind of neat that you could still sort of climb in here. You can see the old growth timbers here. Beautiful, beautiful. Actually 2x4. Look at the grain on that. It's probably a 400-year-old tree they cut down to make that. Let's take a look around at some of the other stuff out here. Got this nice dry stacked wall. And ooh, here's a belt. I don't know if it's a waist belt. You can see the little holes there. This might have been just, yeah, it looks like it was used as a strap to secure something. There's a, maybe off of a teapot. Yeah, there's the handle. This isn't super old. That looks like a Bakelite handle. Let's see, what else have we got down here? Oh. There's a flue there. There's all sorts of bits and pieces up and around there if you look. Cable, stuff like that. Here's another flue. So this was another structure here. This was the roof. You could see the wood shake that it had. Actually, it looks like it had an asphalt roof. So this is just the sheathing, the stringers, and then the rafters. It had a good size fireplace or wood burning stove in it, because check out the size of that flue. See, yeah, this guy, there is not much of anything left on this guy. It's in a real sorry state. Looks like that timber was hewn by hand. All the marks on it. There's the flue. And I think the structure, you know, it probably was sitting like this and then it collapsed back and down, because this looks like where the, or this might have been a front wall. It's hard to say. It's in a bajillion pieces. Let's keep going through. We got a bed frame here. Decent sized bed. What's that? Is that a looks like a half an axle. Probably broke off on the end. Looks like it's automotive, not mining related. Giant spool of cable up over there. More of this dry stacked stone. This looks like it could have been a wheelbarrow or just a I don't know, something for holding ore, whatnot. There's also here's another belt. This one looks like a waist belt. You can see the clip on it. There's a sprocket here. It looks like a drive sprocket. You can see the wear on it. Look at how these are rubbed. So this was likely driving this direction, and that's why these are worn off in this way. So yeah, that's kind of neat. This is the top plate for a wood burning stove, like a little potbelly stove. That's where the flue would go. This is likely inside one of the buildings, and it's upside down, but it says that it's a number 17. Here's a old enamel pot, completely trashed. And there's just, I mean, there's stuff everywhere. It's kind of incredible. I don't know what this is, but you can kind of read what's on it. Let's see. What is this? It says special something day. Special day something. Yeah, I don't know. That's just an old sign that they had brought up here, maybe as a piece of art. That's kind of neat. I've never seen one of those before. And right over here, we've got a large axle off of something. And this looks like it's been modified. Yeah, this has definitely been modified. So, unless it might have had a break here on the input shaft. Yeah, maybe it had a break here. Because normally that's where the U-joint would be going towards the engine. It's missing one of the axles. It's got the other one. See, it's probably off of an old truck by the looks of it. It's pretty hefty. Here's the mattress for that bed over there. It's hard to make it out, but you can see there's all the springs for it. Old jar lid. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. But it's really cool to find this. So we're pretty sure that this is Smith's cabin. So he was one of the guys that was working, I believe he owned, or he was a co-owner of the Eagle Mine, and he was down here, and supposedly during an avalanche it crushed his cabin and killed him inside of it, unfortunately. So this is the cabin site, or what's left of it. He actually might have been in that lower cabin and not this one here, because that lower cabin is just completely gone, whereas these still have a little bit of stuff left on them. These don't look like they were crushed by an avalanche. They look like they just collapsed. Here's a bit of a cot. So this would fold out. That's a cot frame there, wooden cot. Here's a bit of, I think this is from an old pickling jar, canning jar, sole of a shoe. I mean, just so much stuff all over the place here. Absolutely incredible. So we're going to continue on up and see if we can make it to the mine. So upon closer inspection, this building here, so originally I thought it had, completely collapsed, but the wall here is nailed down to, I guess you'd call that the sill plate down there. And so I think this was just a storage shed, because this was about the height. I mean, it's fallen forward a little bit, but that's about as tall as it was. And it's got a lot of miscellaneous stuff in it that wouldn't be necessarily in a cabin you were living in. So this is probably a storage shed here. And then that guy over there was the cabin that they were living in. And that's why this is just sort of a small, short hut. They didn't really build it up.
So now we're coming up to Eagle Mine.
Pretty steep. So we're way up here, we're hiking up. I got this little guy just kind of running around. He's not very happy to see me, but I'm kind of happy to see him. Anywho, Nick, you want to hold him? Okay. Go, little guy. Be free. We're in some steep country. Beautiful country. Steep country. Gotta get to the top. I don't know if you can see it, but all the way out to Azusa. And presumably the ocean beyond there. You can kind of see a faint line. It's a pretty clear day up here on the San Gabriels. We up here in the San Gabriels. Yeah, it looks like it'd be kind of fun. High as a kite.
There you can see that.
We're still not quite there. Yeah, way, way off. You can see all the way to Azusa, Rosemead. LA is too far to the right. Yeah, buddy. We are up there. And we're still not there yet.
No.
Shit. Okay. We're real close, as you can tell. Here's an old hit and miss engine. Let's see what we got going on here. It's got the, wow, this is all complete. Let's see. Rocker arms snapped off. There's the choke. This is the starting fuel reservoir, starting fuel needle. So to start these, you fill the reservoir with fuel, close the choke. Then once it's up and going, you open the choke, although the choke's been, so you slide that over so that it's open, and then you close the starting fuel needle, and it should, off of the line there, pull fuel from the tank, which is actually stored in the base. And the spark plug's there, she's broken off. Valves are seized. Nameplate's been stolen. It is an actual hit and miss. The, whatchamacallit, the magneto's gone. The oil cups are still there. Are those oil cups or grease cups? They look like they may be grease cups. Yeah, those are, I think they're grease cups. Yep. So you use this guy to force down a plunger, which forces grease in. Oh, you can still see the piston, connecting rod, crank, the journals, everything. So it's all still here. Oh, here's a number. We got 440223. No, that's an 8. No, that's a 3. 223. But anyways, very cool engine. Just sitting here, you can see it had a guard for the crank. I don't know why it's down here. Somebody doing something they shouldn't. It's got the longer crankshaft for accessories. Very cool. What do you think, Nick? Pretty cool, right? Yee yee. All right, climbing on up the hillside here. Artifacts everywhere. A lot of things are coming down. Here's a Babbitt bearing. It's missing the oil or Zerk fittings. It just has a piece of pipe in it. And just stuff everywhere. Classifiers, here's a bit of flat belt, oil containers, there's a aluminum canteen. And so it's a beautiful dry stacked wall. See if we can get up to the top. It's a classic 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Part of a wood burning potbelly stove there. I see a classifier over there. More bits of pipe. And the moment we've all been waiting for, ooh, a spring. Likely off of the stamp mill. Oh yeah, baby. This is what I'm talking about. Pieces of a ring gear here. Parts of an engine in pieces. Somebody's broken down the flywheel here. Shovel, enamelware pot, and a beautiful stamp mill. 2 stamps. Somebody's been trying to steal all the stuff up here, which is why there's all these toe straps and stuff they were tying off to these things to try and pull stuff down. Very cool. You can see the tappets up there, twin tappets, the guides, even the screens are in place for the most part. The ore feeders are right behind. Remnants of the ore bin up there. A couple of, looks like a clutch wheel up there, the twin wheels next to each other. And a little shaker table down here. So very neat. Take a look around, film some of this stuff, and then do a little bit more of a detailed analysis on some things. Here's some oil, or probably fuel tanks, and these look like the ones that were found down in the cabin, the Smith's cabin that was destroyed. So it's a good indicator. Remnants of the bull wheel here. What else have we got? Yeah, just various plates. This is a cast iron. Looks like a piece of reinforcing. Not sure what that is. That looks almost like it's part of a post drill. Here's the remnants of one of the larger engines. Fortunately, she's pretty close to the edge. This thing's going to be going over sometime soon. Nice container over there. Very neat site. Very, very neat. See some steel banding, likely off of another water tank, wooden. It would have been up the hill. There's more wood and other things up there. We'll have to explore around a bit more. So we pulled off one of the screen plates here. Here's a closer look inside the mortar box. And there's multiple screen plates. You can kind of see one in the back. So there's two on each sort of mortar box here. One in the back, one in the front. And then whatever would go through this would run down into this sort of trough here. And then that could run down via just a little funnel into the shaker table here. You could see the boss here, and that's the boss up there. And then there's I think this is sort of a crown on the anvil here. And it's just an interesting mortar box in that each stamp has its own box. We looked for a maker's mark but couldn't really find anything on it. So to drive this thing, it looks like they were using a gear reduction, small gear to big gear, and then they would have had something turning this shaft. This might have also been driven by another shaft farther up. Also that engine that somebody was trying to steal, it's way over there. That was, from pictures we've seen, we know that it used to be over here in this section. We're not quite sure why people moved it over there. But this is a really neat guy, especially to still see it intact, still standing. There's an interesting mechanism below. If you see that push rod looking thing, each time those tappets came down, it would push that lever, and that was the ore feeder, the automatic ore feeder. So really neat. It looks almost like a homemade mechanism. I've never seen anything quite like that before. But yeah, really neat. Really, really cool. Here's the shaker table. She sees solid. Not gonna spin. It's a couple of, what is this? It says, I can't quite read it. Gonna take a look at some of the stuff over here real quick. Here's the two halves of that flywheel. These are absolutely massive. I'd guesstimate maybe 200 to 300 pounds a piece. What else is over here? We got part of a, this looks like a bench vise screw. So there's likely a workshop here. Small gear for driving something. Oh, another one of the bearing guides for the mill. Some sort of lever. This looks like an axle, and it's weird. There's all these. It's not a bevel gear, but it's just a sectional round gear. Anyways, yeah, they had another gear here that was driven off of something. Been looking around to see if we could find the gear that drove it, but no sign of it anywhere. Not sure what it was. Maybe an arrastre or. Yeah, just no real way of telling. Maybe it's part of an older operation. The way they're sitting here, they've been sitting here a while, so it was likely just storage. Anyways, a really, really neat site. You could tell that the whole thing is sort of taking off. That foundation wasn't sagging like that. All these rocks weren't sagging like this. So how many years until it's still, or how many years until it's gone, actually, is what's going to happen. The other thing we found when we opened up that mortar box was that come-along was in there, or ratchet strap is really what that is. Two of them. There's a come-along here, and there was a screwdriver, and also a wrench and some lubricant, which is likely what they were using to disassemble this hit and miss engine here. So, yeah, to whoever disassembled this, you can go fuck yourself. And, if anybody has the means to come up here and put this back together, we're unfortunately hard pressed for time, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, another piece of history trashed by the imbeciles, those with not enough brain cells to rub together. Anywho, I might be keeping that wrench though. That is a proto wrench. So we're just above the mill site, and it looks like a water storage shed here. You can see a rounded piece of board there. There's all the banding. So this would have had wooden tanks here that stored the water. There's a pipe coming off. The wooden tanks are pretty much gone, but that little galvanized tank's still sitting there. These look like part of the roof. It was probably a lean-to type design, kind of with just had the beams coming out, supports on the ends. Kind of neat to see it, but yeah, it's in pieces. The lower portal seems to be right up there. Nick looks like he's preparing to go in, so I'll go join him. Well, you could just make out the stamp mill down there, and right up here, this is the sort of tram station, lower tram station. So this cable here continues on up the mountain, and there should be some more portals a little farther up. Oh, there's another piece of it there. But anyways, let's head back into this mine. There's the water tank storage there, and get it all explored. We're outside the portal here, preparing to go in. You can see Nick right inside over there. So anywho, without further ado, let's go check it out. It's pretty solid. Spiders galore. Tight is an understatement. What does that say? It's just some pattern of like a stove. Bowl, a rail. What'd you find?
A stope and a salamander.
Oh, a salamander and a stope?
Yeah.
All in one mine?
Yes.
Oh wow. Look at that. Oh yeah, I see him there. He's trying to, let's see. You can see him there. He's like, oh no, the light, it's too much.
Just look at the beautiful vein, dude. It's so cool.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. And look at how high up it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I see the top.
Are there any offshoots on it?
Apparently, I think they said it was stoped 60 feet or something.
I believe it. Man, that thing goes up a ways.
But maybe a bit less than that. But
just follow the cable, they said. It'd be easy, they said. Under 50 feet, they said. Well, this has been crazy. This is super steep here. I've been following this cable, and the cable's disappeared now underneath this pile. You can kind of make out part of it there, but it looks like there's something up here. That looks like a tram bucket, which is really cool. See a closer shot for you guys. Oh yeah, check this out. So this would be up like this, and the cable would just go through it, and it would ride along. That's pretty neat. And then they must have had some sort of tipping mechanism up at the top. There's an old spoked wheel again, using it as the brake. So this was probably a gravity tram. You can see a whole bunch of cable there. And there's all these pipes that have been flattened and nailed. Oh, probably a grizzly. They must have had a grizzly up here. Anyways, I'm gonna get up there and see what's up there. I'm at the base of this dry stacked wall here. You can see the tram bucket and the brake wheel. And check this out. We got some more cart rails just coming out of the hillside. I'm up here! Sounds like you're close. Nick tried an alternative path, but it didn't pan out, unfortunately. So he's gonna head up and meet me up here. That cable was something crazy to follow. It had fallen down, so yuccas had grown through it. It was buried in sections. Real tough to follow. Also, this is some crazy steep terrain. But hey, take more than that to stop us. But check this out. So there's some rail here, and over there, you see those rails with the hooks on the end? Those are rails for stopping. Ooh, I see a hand crank. Come on, let's see if we can get up there. What's up there? Ooh, an old hand crank blower from a forge. Looks like a mine up there. Here's some good stuff up here. Let's climb on up. Oh, this is some cool stuff here. We have, I'm not even sure 100% what's going on here. It's two engines, front to back. It looks like it was originally a generator or an air compressor. And I see what they're doing. I see what they're doing here. Okay, so this engine here, this looks like a straight 4. You can see 2 valves per cylinder. They were running this, and they had it direct driven to this guy here. And this guy, you'll notice the rocker arms are missing. So this guy acted as a compressor, because you just turn it over. It's a 4-cylinder compressor. Very neat. But check this out. The gauges on this thing. Amperes, oil, the carb's still on it. Look at all the brass screw there for the throttle adjustment. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. There's a shifter here, so there was probably transmission in the middle. That way they could kick it in a high or low gear maybe for starting. And you can see the shift forks down in there. There's the shift lever coming off. You got a central grounding point here. And this still has the little, this would have been a generator. I think this is a Ford by the looks of it. Let's see if I could slowly, carefully make my way around. Check that out. Still got the hand crank on it. Very cool. There would have probably been a radiator here somewhere. They were using 2 choke cables as throttle. So one was for, of course, the actual choke. The other one was for the throttle, and they're kind of seized. Wow, that's neat. There's I don't know if you can read that on there. It says starting, it's got winter, summer, and it's got a little indicator there. So that's maybe an adjustment for the richness mixture for cold starting or whatnot. This is just really cool. Here, why did they have a vent pipe on this? They got a vent coming off of the intake here. Not 100% sure the meaning on that. Unless maybe they, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the whole idea on that. That's kind of weird. It's got this nice battery holder on the side. And there's probably more cool stuff under here, but it's all buried. What have we got here? This guy here, oh, she's buried something fierce. It looks like a grinding wheel, a large grinding wheel that would have been belt driven. It's hard to say. Yeah, it looks like a large grinding wheel. Perhaps, yeah. Very strange. It's got a nice stand. This might have been a little blacksmith shop. Got a little water valve here. Little spigot. And coming around over here, let's see if I can make my way over to the portal, which looks like it's still open. There's a buffalo blower and forge. Yes, the portal is still open. All right, so finally made it to the other side of where those yuccas were. And we've got an interesting looking pipe thing here. I don't know the meaning behind that. Bits of rail, my walking stick, some plate there, and I think they were using this angle iron, maybe a strap rail. But this guy right here, this very neat looking fella, this was likely over on the other side. This is a blower, an antique blower, and it won't spin. This is a Champion, so it's not a Buffalo. Another prolific brand, of course. And what you would do is you'd have this near your forge, and the blacksmith would crank this. Oh, it looks like it will actually spin. Let's see if I could get her free. So look, if I spin the blades, you can see it starts to go around. So if we can get her free, oh man, she's tight. We could actually get this guy to blow. But yeah, the blacksmith would crank on this and he'd get the air flowing, which would raise the temperature for forging and doing whatever the heck he was doing. It's a beautiful specimen, in excellent shape. So you got the little grease cup. These are all the bearings here. You could presumably unscrew them or maybe screw them for the load bearing setting. Here's all the patent numbers. A real quick look around. Champion, blower, and forge. Let's see if you can see that. It's Lancaster, Pennsylvania, USA. And what does that say? Patented April 15th. Looks like 1902. June 11th and July 30th, 1901. Wow, that is so cool. I'm gonna see if I can get this guy to spin. Yeah, she's stiff. Once you get her moving, she's not too bad. But if you're starting, it's the hardest. And you can see it blowing the air out of there. It's blowing the bushes. So cool. It's kind of incredible that you could just sit here and look. And that's what is that? It's Rancho Cucamonga, Azusa. They just, yeah, Rosemead. You can see the ocean right over there. And yet here's this amazing and cool thing. It's just extreme yucca, steep cliffs, poison oak, and I think we're about 11 miles in from the trailhead. No, from the trailhead we're probably around, yeah, 11 or 12 miles in. So about 24 miles round trip. Yeah, and then you too can have this illustrious view. But that's not where it ends. There's also a mine. And Nick has informed me that there's something very cool in there, as well as water. So I'm going to be taking off my boots and getting ready to get wet. Honestly, could not ask for a better camping spot, or picnic spot, I should say. We've got, what have we got, Nick?
We've got an apple turnover, whatever the fuck that means.
Gooberment apple turnovers and Gooberment peanut butter.
Gooberment peanut butter. Right out of the bag.
Is it everything you ever dreamed of?
Tastes like Gooberment.
Tastes like the Gooberment, yep.
Goober. Gooberment.
Big goober.
Goober, it's a goober. Made from goobers.
God, this is awesome. Just eating lunch in an awesome place.